Breaking into the Hollywood movie scene is no easy task, especially when you live in a remote part of the other side of the planet. But a writer from Darwin has been accepted into an exclusive screenwriting boot camp run by film director Ron Howard, the only Australian to receive the honor. Philip Tarletonson is one of 20 from a pool of 5,000 hopefuls to have made the cut to travel to Los Angeles. The 8-week mentoring course helps writers develop contacts and scripts that can be pitched to Hollywood studios and networks. The screenwriter said he did not see writing from regional Australia as a barrier to Hollywood success. Photo: Director Ron Howard is hosting a boot camp for aspiring filmmakers in LA. Reuters, Erica Yar, I like to think that you can be anywhere in the world and you can still write something, and if your writing is of a certain standard it can get you anywhere, he said. Several of his feature films have already been optioned by LA-based producers. He wrote one of them while working as a teacher in the remote Arnhem Land community of Gunbalanya. Anyone out there who's toiling away, they cannot be afraid that they're not in LA and they don't have connections, because it all comes down to your ability and what's on the page, said Mr. Denson. Mr. Denson said he had always admired Howard, the childhood star of Happy Days and in later years the director and producer of films including A Beautiful Mind and Apollo 13. He directed Willow, which was a film in the 80s that I loved, and recently directed a Star Wars film, Solo. The course is developed by Ron Howard and Brian Grazer, co-producers of popular television series Arrested Development. Ron Howard and Brian, they're both very hands-on. Apparently they're there, in the boot camp, quite often, and they bring in a lot of amazing shapers, they're calling them, social runners, writers, creatives, very well-known people to come in and talk to us, including directors and screenwriters, so it'll be very beneficial for my writing, Mr. Denson said. Hollywood calling for his application, Mr. Denson pitched a television series, describing it as a sci-fi mystery family drama. In February he received an email saying he'd made it into the top 1% of applicants and was invited to do a panel interview. So you really have to think about what this work would be and the characters and the journey. Then one morning, he took an unusual call. It sounded very much like a narration from Arrested Development. And I was like, "G'day Ron, how's things?" And obviously I was on a conference call and everyone said, "Congratulations." Life, work, family all in the mix. Mr. Denson said he was looking forward to collaborating with other writers on his series idea. I enjoy the process of the writing, but I also enjoy the next stage, which is the collaborating and the tweaking, and sometimes it's not better than the original work, but it's a new thing, and that's okay. I enjoy that, he said. The budding scriptwriter lives with his wife and 4 children at isolated and tranquil Walgate Beach, across the harbor from Darwin. I personally believe creatives should be living life, working and having family, and be doing their art on the side until it's at such a point that it can be conducive, he said. Mr. Denson has now headed over to Hollywood to kick off with the boot camp. More stories from Northern Territory.